Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We're in the kitchen. Alright, what you just seen was me going out to our lovely green stalk and picking some beautiful kale. Alright, the Angela Kay is already diced up over here, and she's hard at work at the stove, okay? Hard at work. Just frying up bacon, tossing kale everywhere, cracking eggs. She's going down, she's throwing down, and we're going to go over and see what she's got going on.
Welcome back to another episode of What to Do with All These Eggs. And in the skillet we have, well, first I guess I need to tell you what we're making.
No, don't tell them.
It's kind of a bacon, egg, and cheese casserole.
Absolutely.
With some extras.
It's delicious what it's going to be.
In the skillet we have about 8 slices of thick cut bacon. And I've cut them up. You saw me do this trick many times. And we're going to fry it until it's nice and crispy, which is almost there. It's beautiful bacon. But when is bacon not beautiful? That's the question. As you can see, it's ready now. And we're going to pull it out. And my trick is you put it on paper plates, so you don't wind up with Lenny bacon. Lenty, not Lenny.
Lenny bacon. Lenny bacon.
And you're gonna make sure you leave as much of the grease in the skillet as you can, because you're gonna use that.
Yep, you need that bacon grease.
Yep. Always need bacon grease.
Yep.
Eat it with a spoon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Although you can pop popcorn in it, which is absolutely delicious. To this glorious bacon grease, we are going to add about 3.5 to 4 cups of washed and chopped up kale. And you're going to hear that sizzle, because it's all the water coming out of the kale. And you're going to watch all of this kale shrink down to practically nothing. It's like a magic trick. See, it's already going down. We're going to give it a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. It doesn't need a whole lot because you know bacon's salty. But kale still needs salt and pepper. So now we're going to finish frying it up, which is almost there already. When it gets to this point where it's almost ready, go ahead and throw back in your bacon. And this right here is such a wonderful combination. Kale fried in bacon grease is amazing anyways. Now you want to pull this off and let it start to cool, because you don't want to pre-scramble your eggs with this hot mixture.
Now look, if you're not a fan of kale, it's okay, I understand. No judgment here, right? You can, look, if you want to use greens, you can use spinach, Swiss chard, kale, heck, you can probably use mustard, or whatever kind of greens you wanted to use in it. And honestly, if you're not a fan of those kind of greens, you can fix it just without the greens and just the good stuff, right? No big deal.
Okay, at this point you want to preheat your oven to 350. So in this bowl,
you got a dozen beautiful eggs.
We have a dozen eggs. So I'm going to take a fork, I'm going to poke all the yolks, because that's the easiest way to get them to scramble up, is to poke the yolks first.
I'm going to go vacation there.
What?
The poke yolks.
Oh. Do they sell corn there?
Nope.
Okay. Now we're going to add 1 cup of milk. If my fork don't go swimming. Okay, we're going to beat that up. Beat it up. Now, we'll take that out of there so it don't go swimming. Now over here, we have 10 slices of the sandwich slices of provolone cheese. This is unsmoked. I really prefer unsmoked for this because it's already getting smokiness from the bacon. But if you like it really smoky, you can get the smoked. The reason I'm doing this instead of shredded is you get bigger chunks this way and it melts in really nicely. So this is about 10 slices, which is about 8 ounces or so. Now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna cut it into cubes. And where it's already sliced, it's gonna cut into nice little thin cubes. And then we'll turn it and cut this way. And now we've got nice little cubes.
That works.
Cheese thief. Okay. Now to this glorious egg mixture over here, we are going to add about 24 ounces of shredded frozen hash browns.
Yes, that does say 16 ounces a bag. You're gonna use a bag and a half.
You can grate them yourself if you want to, but this is just the easy route. There we go.
Looks about right.
That looks about it. So now we are going to try to break up our little cheese cubes as much as we can. And we're going to throw those in. Don't throw in all of them. Leave a little for the topping. Throw in about half of them.
Yeah.
Now we are going to add about a generous half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese. It's always generous with me. I love Parmesan cheese.
In other words, unmeasured bulk amount.
Yes.
an unmeasured amount.
I'm sorry. I love Parmesan cheese. I have been known to enjoy some Parmesan cheese. Now we're going to stir this together while we're waiting for our kale and bacon to cool some more. Now, you can use probably any cheese you want here. The reason I'm choosing Parmesan and provolone is because they go really well with bacon and with kale.
And it's a somewhat mild.
If you don't like provolone, which I know some people don't, you can go with a mozzarella.
Yeah.
It just won't be as flavorful. Okay, now we're gonna add about a teaspoon of salt. You don't wanna overkill with salt because your bacon is salty, your cheese is salty, so you don't wanna overkill with salt. So you wanna add about a teaspoon. But you wanna add generous amounts of pepper.
Copious amounts. You gotta remember, taters in there are unseasoned, so
yes.
It's no salt added and all that other stuff. So they will take seasoning.
Yes. So by now, our kale and our bacon should be nice and cool. Let me test it and see.
It'll be good. You ready?
Yes.
You're ready to roll now.
It's cool and delicious. You could also do this with sausage.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Sausage and kale are a match made in heaven.
Yes, as the calzone recipe will tell you.
Yes.
iCarb over here. Maybe over here. One of these places.
There's an iCarb floating somewhere up there. Okay. That is absolutely beautiful. So, at this point, we are going to spray a 13 by 9 glass baking dish. I do prefer glass or stoneware for this, not metal. Sometimes metal can cause reactants with eggs. You don't really want that. You don't really want a metallic taste in your eggs. So, now we are going to dump this beautifulness into the pan. Make sure you get all those little cheese cubes out of there and all the bacon out of there. You don't want to miss any of that goodness. You really don't want to miss any of that goodness. And now you want to spread it out really nicely into your pan. Into a nice even layer. That already looks good.
Looks good. I'm not sure I want to eat it like that.
I don't think I would want to either. But it already is looking good. It smells good already. Make sure you break up some of those kale clumps. Make sure everybody gets a little kale.
We need a vaccine for that. The kale clumps.
Okay, now you want to take the rest of the other half of your little cheese cubes, and you want to sprinkle them liberally.
In the floor.
Yes, in the floor. You want to sprinkle them liberally on top of your casserole. Okay. I'm just throwing these cheese cubes everywhere. Okay, now we are going to add a little bit more Parmesan. Just a good dusting.
I believe this thing is going to work out just fine. It looks like it's going to eat just perfectly.
I certainly hope so. Now.
Little cheese dust.
Now we are going to cover it with foil. You want to cover it down tightly with foil. And bake it in a 350-degree oven for 45 minutes. Then you want to take the foil off, bake it for an additional 15 so that the cheese can even possibly get a little brown. And we'll be back to show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, it's out of the oven. It baked for 45 minutes with the foil on. And I baked it for about 20 minutes or so with it off so that it would get that brown that you see.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Now you really want to let it set for about 5 to 10 minutes so it cools down and settles, because you would burn your pie hole right now.
Oh, terrible.
But it smells delicious.
Smells great. I bet it's going to be delicious. Can't wait to sink my teeth into it. Okay, now I get the pleasure of eating this glorious, glorious explosion of deliciousness. I'm going to get this right here. There's a little cheese up here. I want to eat it too. It looks hot. You're going to have to blow on it for a second because I think I'm going to burn myself. Mmm. Mmm. That's great. Man, that's delicious. Good seasoning, good cheese. I mean, eggs are obviously fantastic. That's an absolute winner. And makes plenty. I mean, just feed a good sized family with that. I think I would call it super califragilistic baconalicious. I mean, it's fantastic. So I highly recommend using a dozen eggs in this manner. And you won't regret it. So hey, tell you what, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications. Make sure you get notified and see when we put out these wonderful videos about how we're fixing food, how we're growing food, and the chickens and garden and everything else, all that good stuff. Okay, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm Jason. That was Angela, who was the brains behind this whole operation. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you. God bless you, and goodbye.